tree.
What's up,
hello.
Dylan? Oh, yeah, the angle of the camera is making me look like I'm losing my hair.
Balding in the front review. I'm Dylan Gott. That's John Hastings. We are going to be talking about Sheamus.
Oh, good to see you. He's not retired, and he's also a prick. Oh, hello. I'm Sheamus.
He's the nicest guy.
I'm the color of cum, and I'm as good as a wrestler as a pool of cum would be. Oh, hello. Hello, fellas. I did a tag team with Cesaro, and I think our gimmick was guys who found clothes in the garbage.
I don't know how to tell you this, Mr. Farrelly, but your cum is just getting abs. It's not really growing into a person.
Hello. I just want to let you know that Mr. Triple H, he's a nice fellow, all right? And it's just weird that sometimes he just goes, I like to get pegged by the boss's daughter.
This is Sheamus, and you know what? I did a complete 180 on Sheamus. No, wait. I think I did a 90, where it's like, he's still boring, weird, but I respect him, god damn it.
I did a stand-up 69 in tribute to Sheamus.
Whoa.
It's his favorite position.
Mm-hmm. He talks about that mostly.
Yeah, it's weird. His shoot interviews, you have to dig deep. They're mostly on Parlor or Clubhouse. And it's hello, it's Sheamus. You know what I like to do after that? I just like to head back and I order a prostitute. One of this freshly come from another client, so her vagina is filled with the sperm of a stranger, and then I stand up 69er and drink it like some sort of sardine milkshake. It really powers me up, you know what I'm saying? You know, the Irish stereotype is that we are all into potatoes and poetry, but the actual truth is we're just an island of weird, wet perverts over the coast of Europe there.
We just like to snowball someone else nuts in your wife, then you suck the cum out. That's the real Irish curse.
You know what I don't like about cream pine pornography is I don't get to then drink the load.
Oh, I've sucked down so many of my own phones trying to do that one. I forget it's not live.
Oh, you know, the amount of times I've nearly swallowed an iPhone. Oh, you know, if you ever swallowed an iPhone, that'll be the devil at you right there.
I wish that was Sheamus, but no, here's
do not yet. Hello, I just wanted to let you know that I was just organizing my old copies of New York Times crosswords into proper.
I'm trying to learn guitar again. What else have you done? I just said it. I don't play video games, because who plays video games when you can look at a nice wall?
I seem like the kind of guy that dates a woman who is a nice, good doctor, but she still identifies as goth. Hello, I'm Sheamus.
Sheamus, of course, my shitty accent aside, very good wrestler. Well, I guess just get right into it.
Not a good wrestler, not a good man.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Did you know that every time he's in the ring, he either does or attempts to have a wet shit? That's why that WrestleMania match was 17 seconds, because Sheamus got in the ring and went, it's going to rain Nesquik in here in about 10 seconds there, Daniel. We got to get out of here.
I wish that was the real story, where it's like, I shit me pants, Daniel. The match is over.
Yeah, Daniel, it's either you get pinned by me or you pin me and have to touch my shitted ass.
Do you think that that's why he keeps on insisting his move be the tombstone? How about I do the tombstone?
How about, is it at all possible that I can get someone's face as close to my tainted asshole as possible?
That's what his finishing move was, the Razor's Edge at first, and then now it's not because of, I made a bunch of brown fun in my pants. Can you put
Sheamus does strike to me like Vince McMahon hired a bunch of scientists in Ireland and was like, I want you to build me Kevin Nash and Scott. And then they made Sheamus, and he's like, he's got the body and the vibe of Razor Ramon, but not the charisma. He's just a lump.
I just look at him and I look at his career and I sum it up as Batista, better wrestler, less charisma.
Mm.
And it's like, it's weird because going into this, I didn't know that much about Sheamus, and I was like, because I saw his early promos, I'm like, this is a dude they brought in too early. No, he had been wrestling for 7 years, and his first promo was like half in Gaelic, and he goes, I'm Sheamus, I'm a warrior, and I'd really like everyone to be scared now.
Oh, yeah. Please. No, his promos for the first about 5 years are this. I'm Sheamus, and I like to fight.
Yeah, he just... Well, here's the thing: is before he was a full-time wrestler, Sheamus was in IT security and HR.
Of course he was. I'm Sheamus, and I like to fire people on a Friday.
The idea of Sheamus pulling a 180 and having a character that's just what's that guy's name? McAfee? What's his first name? Fred McAfee? Where it's just like, I'm Sheamus, I own an island. If you fucking step foot on there, I'll kill your fucking dog.
Oh, that he becomes John McAfee?
Sorry, yes. He becomes John McAfee.
I'm Sheamus. I live in St. Martin, and let me tell you, I got a bunch of prostitutes that shit in my mouth. I'm John McAfee Sheamus.
Yeah, that is his putting them in the body bag as he beats someone, and then he lies down on the mat, and prostitutes just full dump in his mouth.
Fun fact about John McAfee: he is the only person I've ever read about that got addicted to. What drug do you think would be the worst to get addicted to?
Like not like nasal inhalants. Like maybe he just like a full medi pot a day. You know,
Bath salts mixed with meth.
Ooh, bath salts weren't enough.
Yeah. I want the crazy of bath salts, but I want the follow through of meth. Well, you're gonna need to have your own island for that kind of violent rain.
I do like the idea of having bath salts and be like, this needs something.
Yeah. You know what? This is almost there. You know what? When I read the story of that guy taking bath salts and then eating that other guy's face, I thought that's not fun enough.
Didn't the bath salts one? Remember how long ago was that?
That was 10 years ago.
So yeah, remember when that happened, and then it was like it turned out some of those were just like some people had schizophrenic reactions to smoking weed.
Yeah,
I
absolutely do.
That potheads.
Yeah. Take that, me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had this crazy reaction to bath salts where I sucked my own dick and I didn't even have bath salts.
I had this crazy reaction to bath salts where I just got laid by a hot chick.
Oh wait, no bath salts. Just told you about some stuff I did.
Yeah. Got you. Classic wrestler review prank.
Is that a prank?
Yeah, we pranked him. We fucking got him, bro.
That's like those guys who are like, I'm a real big prankster, and then you go into work and they're like, you're fired, and you're like, what? And they're like, no, you're not. That was a prank.
My favorite type is this type of, this type of prankster. Dylan, you know how last week I was doing my laundry?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't. I lied to you. You've been pranked.
I love people who don't really understand humor, where they're like, yeah, I pranked this girl, she's dead, or whatever. I don't know.
Oh my God. Dudes that take it too far, very good.
Prankster.
Canada did a good line in comedians that didn't know how to ball bust. Like didn't know.
Yeah.
Like really like.
Well, yeah,
and
your
also,
dad's dead. Those
yeah. Yeah. Like it's that, but then also if you're like, whoa, then they immediately switch to freedom of speech right-wing comedian, and it's the greatest thing ever. Where it's just like, your girlfriend broke up with you because you fear commitment because your dad wasn't there. Whoa, freedom of speech, bro. And you're like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the free speech movement a lot on this, but it's like on this wrestling podcast that has nothing to do with it. And
I am
Sheamus
against
is a guy
it.
who also doesn't go like. Sheamus's interviews are so funny because like he is one of those dudes who has such a good, oh my God, he could very easily be one of those guys who's like, fuck everyone on the fucking internet. You guys fucking underestimated me. I'm a great wrestler. Fuck you. But instead he's like, I wish they just liked me. Which is so funny.
When has he ever been a good wrestler?
Sheamus is a very good wrestler. It's just the thing is he's been in the WWE for 12 years. And if he was in Japan, if he was one type of dude where if he was in Japan for 2 years, everyone would lick the piss off the ground for this motherfucker. But
I actually do agree. I actually agree with you. Yeah, because he's like the most wrestling of the WWE. He's one of those very rare wrestlers where they got him early. They put him in. He's just worked their style, and he's clung on for 12 years. Like it's pretty amazing. Like he's up there. He's in the ranks with like Tito Santana and like the Brooklyn Brawler. In that, like they just get to stay there.
And Sheamus is a weird guy because he's like a weird almost Kane character where it's like, I don't know, man. Have him beat or lose. Something with Sheamus. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going back to bed.
Yeah, basically the thing with Sheamus is, and we can actually go through step by step, but it's basically like every 6 months to 3 years, they have to transition a belt. And then they're just like, well, you know who the man for that job is? I don't know. Anyone? No, Sheamus. I don't know why he would become the woman's champion, but all right.
He was in an interview where he was talking about, I've almost won every title in WWE. And I'm like, is this guy going to like try and cut to cruiserweight? I don't know which belt he hasn't won.
24/7 and women's championship. You know that Vince McMahon has said you don't get the Grand Slam until one of you men wins the women's title.
Until you do that thing where you switch. He just keeps calling them switchers.
Yeah. Vince McMahon refers to trans people as traitors.
Oh God! Oh Jesus! But this is the worst.
I don't believe that Vince
John
McMahon
doesn't believe that.
Has said that many. Yeah, you traitors. It's very weird.
The problem with this is we got to do voices for all the characters, even though we don't have that much faith in our impression skills, just so people don't listen out of context and be like, oh, that's what Dylan thinks.
Yeah. Because what Dylan thinks is far darker.
Sometimes when you hear a podcast and you're like, why are they doing this piss poor impression of whoever? It's like, because if you listen, you're like, oh, that's a bad impression, and not, oh, that guy thinks that.
Yeah. And if you want to know what I think, just go to my blog. That blog is the Daily Storm. No, it's not the Daily Storm.
Yeah. I'm full of hate at Nazi.im, yes. I'm a Nazi. So he's in IT security and HR, which
such a loser.
He took boring and he minored in being more boring. Good for him.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, university. I'd like to have a job that makes people go to sleep, please.
Bought his first house in Dublin at 25.
Yeah.
Like, that's a man who's like, protein powder. No, that's not fiscally responsible enough. I just, lentils have a lot of protein in them and I eat them raw.
Yeah.
I don't spend money under any circumstances. These clothes are lentils.
My comedian friend Dave, who lives in Dublin, who lives down the street from Sheamus in Dublin. He still has that house. Or he still has a house in Dublin that he lives down the street from.
He fucking bought it at 25. He just, like, people live. Here's my funny thing about Sheamus too, is he was like, okay, I'm going to try and be a wrestler. He went to the Monster Factory to train under Larry Sharp. By the way, Monster Factory, the best name for a wrestling school. The best name. So
what's
good.
also
Larry
funny
Sharp
is so many people
have
come out of it. No one really talks about Larry Sharp with pride. They do just say, I was trained at this place. But they're not like, and Larry Sharp, without him, I wouldn't have a career. They're like, and Larry, let me tell you who can read a newspaper. That Larry Sharp.
Well, because it was like the Monster Factory was like Bundy, Bigelow. They made their name, and then it was like, all right, now we're cashing checks, and Larry's going to sleep in that cot. And if you wake him up, you fail. You pass. Yeah. All you got to do is not wake up Larry.
And now that they've now they train some absolute gems like Enzo and Sheamus.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, Enzo was there too? I
think Enzo. Bada boom. Creepiest guy in the room. How you doing, women?
So the key to wrestling is, I know, bro, hang out in the toilet. That's what you do. It's crazy. Do you think if Enzo and Vince Russo met, they would just like start heatedly making out?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you understand? If like Vince, also problem is Vince thinks that Enzo is Lash LaRue. He'd be like, "Is that you, Lash? Bro, it's not me. I'm not Lash LaRue, bro. That's you, Lash."
So Sheamus was wrestling 4 years in the UK before he got to the WWE system. He was in FCW for a bit. For 3 years, this guy was in the system, and this goes completely against what I thought, which was, this guy took to like the in-ring part of wrestling really well. So they just sped him up and gave him the title because they were like, Vince McMahon was like, an Irishman? Yum, 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 yum.
That counts as an ethnicity.
And he really catches a lot of heat, does Sheamus, because he debuts on ECW.
Do you think that Vince McMahon is the type of American Irishman that thinks he's Irish, so he just asks Sheamus stuff about Ireland, but Sheamus doesn't want to get in trouble, so he agrees with the wrong things that Vince McMahon says about Ireland? I'll never forget going to Ireland and being able to drive directly to England.
What I like about Ireland is all the planes you get to ride. There's planes instead of cars, right?
Yeah, I just like going to Buckingham Palace, located in downtown Dublin.
Downtown Ireland.
I'll never forget
Sheamus, what was it like growing up in the same town as the Eiffel Tower?
So what the hell was I talking about? Oh, he debuts on ECW, does Sheamus, and then 6 months later he wins the WWE title, and everyone's so pissed because this is 2009, and this guy who can't really cut a promo, who no one's really heard of, is the world champion instead of like them pushing CM Punk. Because they're trying to do that. They were like, oh yeah, we don't push anybody? Here, we push this guy. What's his name? Shut up.
Yeah.
Didn't catch his name, but he won.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
But and wasn't it schmozzy though? Didn't something happen with like John Cena got attacked by some bro? And then like the other thing with Sheamus's title wins that I just discovered in the research is like it's like that thing of like slowly you can see the Big Show like heel, like the heel turn, like how many times they've done that. They're also developing the theory that like Sheamus can't really ever win a match without interference from who the person he's having a match with actually is feuding with. Like they're like no one ever feuds with Sheamus. You feud with someone else, then Sheamus just picks up a victory.
It's adjacent, yeah, but it's not like
he's the Kenny Banya of wrestling.
Ooh.
He follows in the wake of like another more successful wrestler, and if you're a milky-eyed 78-year-old maniac, you're like the Sheamus is getting over, and they're cheering for the guy he stood next to while he's sleeping. Yeah, he's so over.
Yeah. This is also 2009, as I said. This is prime time. Like, CM Punk is clearly the dude they should be putting a bunch of resources behind. But they're like, no.
Do they?
The Sheamus guy that everyone's, all the nerds are angry at. But this is like just before they really have to start paying attention to nerds.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's a funny thing, yeah, because Sheamus has always been and always will be kind of the great enemy of the internet wrestling fan. Like his entire career is very blessed. He wins a lot of stuff very quickly. It's also that thing of he clearly doesn't push back from the office in this way, where he's not an individualist. He's clearly a soldier for the WWE, and you can see that no further than his King of the Ring crown. And sort of, you can tell that when a wrestler gets input into how they're presented as King of the Ring, they're either there's nothing or it's very subtle. And you can tell when Vince McMahon has power about it, it's like, you're an actual king. And the only guy that did that well was King Booker. King Booker was so fucking good. Everything else.
He took it to its logical thing where it's like, oh, I'm a king. I then now believe I live in the 1500s.
Yeah.
Versus everyone else like, I'm a king. I'm really cocky. Whatever. Which is exactly what Sheamus was just
yeah, and it's so annoying. And he has the worst crown in the world.
Yeah, it's just the King of the Ring every single year was heel wins this thing and then becomes king. I think the only heel who wasn't like, I'm the King of the Ring was Stone Cold. That was it.
Bret Hart, you dumb fuck.
No, but he wasn't a heel. He was a babyface.
Edge.
Did Edge win as a heel or was he a babyface?
They're all heels to me.
Edge is a heel because he's from a place I don't like. Burn.
Yeah. Mississauga.
Ooh.
Your roads are too wide. It's confusing.
So,
is this a highway or is this a road? Why is there stop signs on the highway?
Not only does Sheamus get to win the world title, but he beats John Cena for the world title and then later on beats Triple H. So he gets 2 wins, which cool. And it's not that was what I was saying before. It's not the Chris Jericho win where it's like, oh, Chris Jericho beat The Rock and Stone Cold in the same night, but here's how he won. Vince McMahon shot both of them with a gun, and Chris Jericho had been knocked unconscious for 10 minutes, and then they pulled him. He didn't even get the gift of being conscious and then walking up and covering them. He was pulled versus Sheamus. Someone cheats, brogue kick, or the razor's edge, and he gets pinned. So it's like Sheamus was still completed that with a heel offensive maneuver, and he would go over really strong on television. They pretty much give him the push that they gave Batista in about 2005, where it's like, this guy's just going to murder people on TV.
The problem also is that if Sheamus had been put into a stable or he'd been put into a group, that would have been a lot less noticeable. In the same way that Roman Reigns only started to get shit after he left the Shield, because in a faction, it's a much more easily digestible sort of thing because a faction's natural state is having that enforcer type character.
Yeah, I think he's kind of like Road Warrior Animal without Hawk. where it's like Road Warrior Animal, good solid wrestler. I think Sheamus is a better wrestler, but super competent in the ring. It's just he's like doesn't really have that sizzle that Hawk had. So it's like Sheamus was really a victim of, like you said, not coming in a group, and more so, I think, not coming in a tag team. Like I really think if 2009 was really shit for tag teams, I think if he would have been able to come into a tag team that actually had a tag division, not just like, hey, we're gonna beat the Usos now. Either you're a tag team and you've won the title, or you're not a tag team.
Oh yeah, that's very funny. This is the beginning of the we need a match for the pre-show. Well, the Usos can wrestle themselves for the tag team championship of the world. You had me at Usos.
How about this? The Usos do a cooking show. Yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Just have them on TV. They'll jump off something.
Yeah, they'll just unnecessarily wear track pants. It'll be great.
But he catches a lot of hate, which I'm sure everyone's heard this. He was rumored to be like Triple H's workout buddy, which is the wrestling version of Who Did She Suck Off?
Exactly, yeah. If you spot Triple H, oh, you're winning the Intercontinental title. Everyone knows that.
Oof. But then also, like, he comes in, wins the title quick, and beats Triple H, so of course they think that. But apparently, according to Sheamus and other people, it's like he's never, like, he worked out with him a couple times. That being said, though, imagine you're working at a company and you get to have private alone time with the boss. I mean, that still is very important.
Yeah, that would be fucking huge. You'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to be
company. Yeah.
I'm going to be in a tag team with Cesaro.
But it's a huge company. Everybody, you're looking for some way to stand out, and at the very least, it's like, well, now this guy knows who I am definably.
Yeah, and I also do. The thing with Sheamus in the end is he's what Vince McMahon wants from a wrestler. He's a naturally gigantic, supernaturally muscular, very unique looking guy.
And his first promo was in Gaelic, which Vince McMahon must have been full hard for.
Yeah. Oh, he's talking like my granddad used to talk. Shane, that's how your granddad used to talk.
How about this? How about this? Your character is my dad.
You're my dad. We kiss.
First you beat me up, then you yell at me in Gaelic, and I cry. That's a good vignette.
You gotta cry, and then I gotta cry, and then we drink our tears, Sheamus.
But he has the Celtic cross, which is like, for me, I've only seen that as a, like, that is of course a symbol, Irish symbol, but I've only seen it with white nationalist groups. So
yeah.
it was a rough look. So it was like the Celtic cross, which I've seen with white nationalist groups, and then when he was facing Triple H, it was the Iron Cross, which also I've seen with. So it was like, which of these Nazis is going to win?
It's an interesting thing about when it comes to the Irish iconography, because it's associated with all sorts of things I don't like. White supremacy, dude bros getting way hammered. Like the mayor and the people that don't know what is it, Aaron Gobra or whatever that is?
No, I mean, the dude bros getting hammered, the first thing I think of is you've been, for me, I'm familiar with, you're like third generation Canadian now, but you still get like your last name tattooed on your back in
writing. Kind of people that have hearts tattooed over their fucking, or harps tattooed over their harp. Yeah. The kind of people that just yell Eren Gobra and don't know what it means.
I'm Irish. Why? I don't know. It's more
kind
interesting than just saying I'm from this dirt town.
Kind of a couple of people that don't know what Belfast is and why that's a different country. Favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of people think Ireland is attached to England, which also destroys me.
Really?
Yeah. It's literally called Ireland. Island, you fucks.
Yeah, it's a bunch of people who mispronounced island. That's how they created the language.
That's how they they were too busy eating rocks.
You don't need to cook a potato. You just eat it like a goddamn apple.
I will say this right now.
Ireland.
I don't know anything about Sheamus's personal life, but I guarantee Sheamus fucks. He fucks a lot. He fucks good.
He does mention that he fucks because all he talked about with the when he came back, so he gets injured. Oh, we should say this:
Irish people fuck. Irish people they
have sex.
What are those Irish people here to do? Have sex with you? What? I don't want to have sex with them. Well, they're gonna have to find someone.
I'm sorry, they're gonna either fuck you or your dog. So you gotta take this one for the team.
Yeah.
I think
They are
'Cause your
here
dog is
to
going
fuck
be
your dad.
traumatized.
Yeah.
As the Miz says, they are here to fuck your dad. So while he's in a feud with Mark Henry in like 2011, he starts being called the Great White.
Yeah, I remember this. This was not good. Because they were like trying to be like, get it? Because he's very pale, and everyone was like, no, it's making it sound very misogynist.
Yeah, how about this? He's called the Klansman because he's Irish and he has a clan of friends. What? Yeah, the Great White Klansman. And here's his other nickname. He doesn't like other races.
He's got like a big group of friends, and they all like to get together and wear like uniforms, like stuff you can find at home, like a nice billowy, soft robe.
I just don't understand what your problem is with my character, where it's a group of friends that like to dress up as ghosts.
Yeah. Dylan's part of an organization where they all like to dress up in black with red armbands, and they're dressing up as extras from a skate punk video in the 90s.
Yeah, we just like to dress up as the bad guys from Star Wars, and then sometimes we dress up as ghosts because we like Halloween. What's wrong with that, everybody? But he's called the Great White.
With that? Go ahead.
They don't understand that that's weird. And Sheamus is just like, I'm still going like, I'm the Irish guy. Everyone's like, I don't think you understand. And it's so funny because I guess with any other character, it'd be like a heat getting thing. But with Sheamus, it just comes off like this HR guy doesn't really know what he's saying, does he? Because when you understand, when I read he was in HR, I was like, of course, that's it.
Sheamus is a rule follower and a listener.
Reasonable man. Yeah.
Oh, is he reasonable?
A listener is so funny that he comes.
He listens.
Of a promo. I'd like to hear what you have to say. And he just.
Do you understand that he said that? I guarantee Vince McMahon was like, "Why don't you tell me about yourself?" Mr. McMahon, you seem far more fascinating than me. And right there, Vince McMahon leaned back and went, "Well, I guess I just met our next world champion."
Stephanie. This guy's your husband too.
Stephanie, divorce Triple H and suck this man. Suck his toes, Stephanie. I am a toe watcher, Stephanie. Toe watcher.
Suck this man. So he wins the world title at WrestleMania 28 by pinning Daniel Bryan in 18 seconds and inadvertently starting Daniel Bryan's Yes Movement push. I hate calling it the Yes Movement, but crazy push.
Do you also not like calling it the pipe bomb?
Yeah, well, I always do is when serious social movement starts, I'm like, oh, actually, that's crazy because I was on the ground floor of another thing in 2012. And they're like, Occupy Wall Street. I'm like, no, the Yes Movement.
The Yes Movement was the Yes Movement didn't actually come into the fucking forefront until late 2013, early 2014. And if you make a mistake like that, Dylan, and I am not fucking being hyperbolic, I will rip out your fucking spine with my hands.
Yes Movement.
You're in the yes, you can fuck off movement. How about that?
But of course, this inadvertently, and this is the biggest thing Sheamus has ever been attached to, is that Raw after WrestleMania where everyone goes buck wild and they really, well, now it's like now that Raw doesn't even exist anymore, of course, but like the Super Nerd Raw where they just destroy all storylines, where they show Daniel Bryan on screen. And also Sheamus as a face is bad because he's just like, I'm the same guy, but I smile now. And
he doesn't have a good smile. He doesn't have a vibe that makes you want to be like, God, I hope it works out for this guy. Like your vibe is just like, I fucking hope someone puts a fucking brick in his head.
Yeah, it's just like smug kind of, but not like smug enough to be Rick Rude.
Yeah, it's just annoying.
The bar I think would have been great if Vince McMahon was like, we need managers. I don't know. We're skipping ahead to the bar, but it's like Sheamus should have come in with a manager. He would have been great. Like,
yeah, if Sheamus had come in with a manager, he would have been great. If Sheamus had been in more factions that weren't fucking the League of Nations, but he was actually a heavy.
We'll get there.
Oh, will we? Yeah.
League of Nations should have been awesome, but it's like instead it was like, we're cartoon villains and we all sniff each other's farts. The League of Nations.
Yeah, I fucking hate the League of Nations so much. I hate it.
Oh yeah.
so
Well,
much.
it's Sheamus being like, I guess Vince McMahon doesn't care about me anymore. And then Rusev coming into his own as a comedic character, and then Alberto Del Rio going, "Who just turned 18?"
Yeah, which
talking
one of
fucking
you?
Just.
Which one of you wants to get punched in the face?
Who
That's
here is
my,
not without their parents for the first time ever?
Yeah.
Del Rio.
Who wants to snort cocaine? That's my Alberto Del Rio.
Although Alberto Del Rio, I'm sure we'll do an episode on him, and it'll get real fun towards the end. But he was fired because a guy said a ethnic slur to him, and he slapped the guy in the face, and they're like, "We're firing the guy who was the victim."
It's better than that. He said, "Take that back, or I'm going to slap you in the face." And he went, "What?" And then he went, and so then he slapped him once, and he said, "I said take it back." And then they were like, "What the fuck happened?" And he was like, "I told this guy to take it back, and he didn't, so I slapped him." And then he basically implies it was like if I had said, "Take it back, or I'm going to slap you," and not slapped him. And then if he said, "I'm not taking it back," then slapped him, I probably would still have a job. Unfortunately, I didn't do that. I took a second and then attacked him, or I didn't take a second and then attacked him, and then they didn't like that. Like his excuse for why he was fired is like the most "where's the money if you're asking a junkies" story ever, and it's so fucking annoying.
We should take a break.
Yeah.
Freeze.
Fuck. Dylan, we're back. I'm gonna say this. I don't like talking about Sheamus, and I hate him.
Bitch, pussy, fuck.
He's just a boring guy who's just been
interesting.
He's not interesting. His entire career is just like, I don't know. I don't think they wouldn't like anything we did. So why don't they like it? Okay, Sheamus is the champ. Oh, they hate that. Why do they hate that? Why do they hate us?
He's HR.
Why do they hate
Hansen.
us? What?
He's like HR Stan Hansen, but instead of Stan Hansen being a crazy man and then being normal, he's just normal the whole time.
Yeah, the problem, he's like Stan Hansen. He's HR Stan Hansen in that he shows up in wrestling and just fires people. And it's really annoying.
He works stiff, but every time he goes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he works stiff like my dick, but says sorry like I also always do because I've given women too much pleasure with my peen.
That's true. Sometimes you have to apologize because you're like, you know what? I got to tone it down here. I'm too fucking good at this shit.
I am so sorry that no man will ever be satisfied by you the way I satisfied you. And they're like, that's really creepy for you to say that. And I'm like, yeah.
See, this
I'm
is
here
the
to
thing
be
is
creepy.
You're first things first. My name is John. Second things second. I'm here to be creepy.
Hi, my name is John, and I am here to make you uncomfortably turned on.
I want to suck the place you piss from. Is that what you're gonna say?
That's going to be your cunt. I'm kissing your cunt.
That's out of yeah, we explained it's very important to do things in character, but these are things that we say and believe and stand by. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm Sheamus now. I believe I am Sheamus.
First year is for where you pee from. Second year is where you poo from. Third year is for them feet.
Oh,
I'm Sheamus now. Oh, hi. I took a dump. Can you step in it like it's grapes to make wine?
No. Oh,
That's me. I'm Sheamus. Stomp around in me dump. Stomp around in me dump.
In me dump, stomp around in his dump.
I got a new idea for a character. I'm really into scat play.
Hello, Vince. It's Sheamus. How about this for my next character? Right, it's just a guy who has sex with people that shit on him.
How about this for a character? I'm eating a hot dog and I go, oh, that looks like a good hog. And actually, it's a big log of mine. Oh, eating the logs. So that's Sheamus. That was the League of Nations, basically. But League of Nations, of course, was formed.
Good.
And usually when you do this, you're like, oh, we have a bunch of people who we've tried to do something with. Like Rusev had just basically lost to John Cena for the U.S. title. Sheamus obviously had won the U.S. title and the world title multiple times. Del Rio, multiple time world champion. Wade Barrett, always been in the mix, but never really got that shot. And instead, they just lose, and essentially, no one cares.
It's very interesting. The Un-Americans were like this too, where it literally seemed like someone went, "What do we do with these guys?" Someone else went, "I don't know. They're not from America. Just put them all together in a faction." And then they do that, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we just hate these guys. All right, yeah, just leave them there. I fuck them." Like it's just so they just don't like them at all.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like Vince McMahon. So I guarantee the original idea was that they just gave long promos about how much they love trade tariffs.
Yeah.
How they're bad for the economy.
What's also funny is I'm pretty sure the League of Nations, like the League of Nations was happening just as the Brexit campaign was happening, which I guarantee no one at the WWE caught on to. Like they could have actually been a very interesting and progressive face stable about the importance of unity across a continent. Oh, sure, Del Rio is from Mexico, but I'm sure he has some Spanish heritage.
There you go. He does.
But instead, I guarantee Vince McMahon has yet to find out about Brexit and won't only find out about it when it comes to them having to get visas for wrestlers.
Yeah, I guarantee the original idea for League of Nations that was tampered down was that they all want to immigrate. And then Vince McMahon just kept slamming on the table going, because that's fucking awful.
Yeah. He's like, what do you mean?
Build a dome.
If you're from here, that's where you live.
And then Sheamus gives him more.
I was born in my house in Greenwich, Connecticut. Dad, I don't know how many times I can tell you this. You were not born there. I was. Your mummy was my mummy.
So after that, he forms a team, and this is maybe the most well done, really storyline of Sheamus's career is him and Cesaro get in a feud, but then it's kind of like tee-hee, maybe they like each other. Turns out they fucking love each other, man.
Oh my God. You want to know why they're feuding? Because they want to know who's the toughest. Smash cut. It's both of them.
They're both tough. They form a team. And once again, as I said, in 2009, it would have been great if Sheamus came in a tag team and there was an actual tag division that they could rise through the ranks. Like, I don't know, beat a team that's like a lower mid-card team than a mid-card
That'd be
team.
Sweet. Can they do that?
Yeah.
Wait, Dylan, are you saying
they
they can
can't.
do that? Wait, what? No, Dylan.
Mark, come back. And it's really a resurgence for the WWE tag team division because, of course, you get the New Day. You have the Usos, who are actually a tag team now. They're actually allowed to have characters, not just like, look at these guys who are going to lose. And they really are able to express themselves. The Bar, that first time they came out where Cesaro had the suit jacket and Sheamus had the kilt, and it was like, these guys are the Irish James Bonds. I remember huge pop at that WrestleMania, and I remember we were watching WrestleMania and everyone was pumped. It was like, actually they did a storyline and it paid off in a subtle way, really, because it's like, just because now they have matching entrance gear, you can tell these guys are actually getting along, and it was a big payoff to this feud. Then that was great, and that may have been the most well done storyline ever in Sheamus's fucking career. And they work great as a tag team, and they're a powerhouse tag team who is also versatile. And Cesaro is a powerhouse character, but he's not like, they're not both just straight jacked up like Sheamus. Like Cesaro's more lean.
And Cesaro is a better wrestler is the main thing. Like Cesaro's a good enough wrestler that he can kind of carry both. Like he can carry it and be the one that like gets taken down. Cesaro for the hot tag. No, it's fucking great. The Bar was the best. Is the only time I've ever liked Sheamus.
Yeah, because that's who he is. He's a guy in a tag team, and they could have used a manager for sure, just so they have like, this is an amazing tag team and two amazing.
I actually disagree with that, and I think the Bar is the most interesting thing. I think that what the Bar needed was something like the APA. They needed a thing in the backstage to give them a bit more humanity. I don't know if a manager would have done that. And also, and I must stress this, if you say stupid things more on this program, it's fucking over between us, Dylan.
Oh no, we're gonna break up.
We're gonna break up, but we'll still have an angry podcast. That's our sex in our relationship.
Angry. Oh yeah.
Nothing like
Yeah,
a
I
good
get what you're
podcast
saying
after
though,
a
'cause,
fight.
like, just having
Because the bar was really good, but there was still no explanation really as to why they were doing these things. Like it's in the same thing of when, like, because before this one, Cesaro was just being James Bond, but really he was just being a guy in a suit who rips his pants off. But really, he was just being male stripper.
Yeah, and then his hang signature is like, my fucking fists are guns, bro.
Yeah,
Sick.
I got a license to thrill that puss.
Yeah, but they really don't have. It's just we're two tough guys, and we're the standard, so we're the bar. Versus exactly what you're saying, like the APA. It's like, what's their motivation? I don't give a shit about tag. We just beat people up backstage. We beat people up. We're super tough. So we kind of work outside of the tag division even. And if you bring us in and beat us, then you're a serious dude because we're fucking crazy tough. And wrestling needs those guys who are like, they kind of work outside of like a good example is The Undertaker, but kind of less. You need like upper mid card guys. Like you need gatekeepers. Constant gatekeepers. That's the best wrestling organizations have constant gatekeepers where it's like, okay,
yeah, everything's like a video game.
Yeah,
and it's that thing of like, and like, and a great example of this is the Boss Man versus all of the Heenan family to get to Mr. Perfect. The one problem is that they then didn't have him beat Mr. Perfect. That's the funniest thing about when the WWE sets up these sort of limitations. The one thing that they always do is forget to then have it pay off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know what was happening that time because obviously Boss Man should have been the world champ and still be the world champ.
They were
retiring this whole industry now because he died. Yeah. Wrestling should have stopped the day Ray Traylor left this earth. That's my opinion.
It should have kept going because listen, Big Boss Man was good, but he's no fucking bunch of other people.
The Bar is 5-time World Tag Team Champions, and here's how their tag team titles. Sometimes, this is what I hate about the WWE tag team division, where it's like, hey, our tag team division is going really good. Oh, wait, Vince wants the tag titles for a main feud, and then that gets like, Seth Rollins wins the title with Dean Ambrose at one point, because it's like, hey, we're going to do a fucking Shield reunion. So, not that they like, there's a way to do it, I guess. But they beat the Bar for it later on. That's really a pet peeve where it's like guys can kind of come in and out of. It's not as bad as it was when Christian DX was on the scene, where it's like, oh, the tag team champions just got destroyed.
Christian DX was the word because it was Christian DX because they would also interfere in matches.
Triple H would wipe out the entire tag division once a month just because John Cena landed a punch on him. It's like,
yeah.
know I'm the best still.
Someone didn't just give him a free protein shake at a gym. So he was just like, they fucking respect me. Time to fucking do it.
Yeah. A lot of the ideas for matches was like, instead of pedigreeing and winning, how about the match starts and he starts crying because he has to face me and then he sucks my limp dick because, he's not hot enough to get me hard.
It's very important.
For 45 fucking shitty minutes.
Sucks my limp dick. It's very important that my limp dick gets Mr. McMahon, you are aware that these are also being sent as memos to people across the company? Yeah. Okay. As long as you know that's what you were doing.
So 2019, Sheamus suffered a concussion, actually. He comes back in September of that same year. And we didn't mention this, but basically he comes in to the company and he looks like swole and pale Bart Simpson. That's his hair.
Yeah, he does.
And then
that's
he comes
so
back
fucking funny. That's so fucking funny. That's exactly what he becomes. Ladies and gentlemen,
just massive Bart Simpson.
Please welcome massive, boring Bart Simpson.
Don't have a cow, you bitch.
Yeah. Homie. Yeah. Here's the thing about Sheamus, and this proves how boring he is in my mind.
Tell me.
What is Sheamus's theme music?
I don't know now. I know the original one. It was The Price You Pay. Ooh, Celtic Warrior. And he wanted that to come back. This actually is something I wanted to bring up. He wanted that to... This is a very good story. He wanted that to come back. So Sheamus being... This is pretty cringy, and like I like Sheamus now because of these types of stories. But Sheamus, like during his time off, started trying to learn to play guitar again because he had in high school. This is on the Corey Graves podcast. He talks about this. He learned how to play guitar in high school.
I
as
am
everyone
so
did.
sorry you listened to that. I tried to start that very show, and I couldn't do it. Corey Graves, for a broadcaster, is so bad at broadcasting.
Well, it's good when it's like, hey, talk now, and then Sheamus just kind of gets to tell his story. But so he learns how to play guitar, and then what's the cringiest thing you can learn how to play guitar? You learn how to play guitar, you learn to play your own theme song.
Oh my God,
So-
he learned how to play. Did he want to record it? And he goes, it's me singing. I'm a Celtic
In
warrior.
my idea, or it's like he's Elias, but like he wants to be taken seriously. Anyway, so HR Sheamus wants to learn his own theme song, and he goes to Vince McMahon. He's like, "Hey, why don't I go back because I have my original Bart Simpson hair again?" He went back from the Mohawk to back to Bart Simpson. Why don't I now get my old theme song back? And Vince McMahon's like, "What?" He's like, "My first theme song." And Vince McMahon's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And then he starts singing the theme song for Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon's like, "I've never heard that song in my life. I don't know what that is," and just walked away.
Oh, that's
Or it's
really
like-
good.
Vince McMahon,
It's so
that
good.
man was your champion, though. Like, and this is the other thing, the main thing about 2009 Sheamus that we didn't even get to. It's like he didn't come in and win the SmackDown title immediately. He wanted the Raw title, which is, as we know, that's
Way
the main
is
brand.
is
Yeah.
is the one that Vince actually acknowledges.
Yeah, especially in 2009, where it's like the way it was set up was like, okay, Raw has John Cena and Triple H, which are your 1A and 1B characters, and then SmackDown has The Undertaker for WrestleMania season. So, like, in WrestleMania season, you'll get a bunch of viewers, but mostly it's just fucking no, it's just like whoever's the champion until The Undertaker comes back and gets to murder them for 2 months before leaving again.
Oh yeah, basically the WWE for the last 15 years, for the most part, was basically just 80 guys working out, so that when the Undertaker was like, I want to beat someone brutally, and they're like, well, take your pick, sir.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And Sheamus came back. He wears like a shoe shine hat. One of those guys.
Yeah.
And,
It's fucking sick. He comes back and then he gets into a big brudel with fucking what's his tits?
Jeff Hardy
Jeff Hardy.
calls him an alcoholic, and then but it's
Which,
like,
by the way, what
you can
was
see
weird
Sheamus
about
isn't
that?
mean. He's like, I'm very sorry for your problems. If you keep on
It's also
going,
that's
they're
been
gonna have to
done.
suspend you.
Jeff
Yeah,
Hardy
exactly.
of everyone, like it's so funny when people are like, it's a bit fucking inappropriate what they did
They've done
with
it- they've done
with
this
Road
90
Warrior
times.
Hawk, where it's like, if they can't remember to say hello to Jeff Hardy, they will still remember to be like, remember that time you did all the drugs and nearly fucked up your life by wrestling way high? And he's like, yeah, I'll never forget. And they're like, yeah, it's fun though. It's like, oh, son of a bitch.
Well, and this is the other thing is they're like, oh, this is really. I guess people thought it was tasteless with Jeff Hardy, but it's like they already did this angle not only with Road Warrior Hawk, but with Jeff Hardy
Yeah,
10 years ago with CM Punk. And it's like, and this is the thing where it's like, with CM Punk, people weren't like, oh, this is a bit much actually, because he's talking about Jeff Hardy's substance abuse problems. When in fact, back then it was like closer to like, yes, he had a DUI, Jeff Hardy did, but he burnt down his house, which is clearly like a meth lab problem. I'm going to speculate it's a meth lab. This is all hearsay.
See, I'm
He fucking burnt down
speculating.
his house and killed his dog.
Yeah, that's
Way closer with the fucking CM Punk angle, but now because CM Punk, everyone loved him, and now it's Sheamus, everyone's pissed off. But once again, Sheamus is like, seems like too nice a man to just be like, fuck you guys, the fucking internet's a bunch of fucking losers. Instead he goes, you know what, everyone's entitled to their opinion. He might be the most normal wrestler.
Sheamus, yeah, that's I think why this episode was sort of daunting for both of us. Is there's no time in a motel room. Oh, there's one thing. I'm so glad I made notes. There is one thing that makes him a wrestler that is not normal. And do you know what it is? Did you come across it in your research?
I know there's a story that Yoshi Tatsu beat him up, but then that didn't happen.
Nope. He came upon a wrestler having sex in a hotel room. Who do you think that wrestler was? Here's a hint. It was
Colt Cabana.
two wrestlers. I'm so happy. I've been for this entire half been trying to find my notes on this because I just couldn't
Brad
figure out.
Maddox and Paige.
Nope, so much better.
Triple H and me.
Nope. It was Daniel Bryan and whichever Bella Daniel Bryan is married to. The first time they had sex, for some reason, Sheamus walked into the hotel room, saw them having sex, and apparently went, "Oh yeah, go on, fella." And then
that just sounds like a normal guy.
yeah, he did that. Like the thing with Sheamus is
Here's the wrestler. All right, so here's the thing. Here's the difference between a wrestler and what happened there. Go on, fella is like, I'm on I play sports. I'm a jock. A wrestler would have been like, I've been working on playing my own theme song, and then be like, no, keep going. It makes me play better when I see the slapping.
Yeah. Let me just serenade you. I'm a Celtic warrior.
But I'll make it about you.
Do know.
Daniel
The
Bryan.
Celtic warrior is watching you.
Yeah. Think about how
The
Road Warrior
Celtic
Hawk
warrior is watching you
handles that
have
situation.
sex. I'm watching you have sex with a woman I would also like to have sex with.
Think about how Road Warrior Hawk handles that situation, though. He just bursts in the room and he's like, "Oh, not anymore!" And then he takes Daniel Bryan's clothes and goes, "Big guy with small clothes on," and then he gets on a flight and insisting he's Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, your Sheamus accent is perfect and never change it. I have to stress this. Don't change your accent ever.
That was my Road Warrior Hawk.
Oh, was it?
There's no difference.
Yep, no difference. Keep
Good.
it.
I've been doing a lot of accent work with my acting, I would say, coach, but it's more of a guider.
Yeah,
My acting
more of a dude I know who's also a janitor near books. So he's a janitor in a high school library.
No, he just hangs out near a dumpster where people throw books out and tries to clean it.
Oh, you're near my mouth. I don't know why people are throwing books in my mouth. In my wet mouth?
Sheamus had a good feud with Drew McIntyre where he lost, and they had a bunch of good matches. I mean, if you look at any Sheamus
I
match,
hate Sheamus. I hate him so much. He's just
you were gonna
boring.
say you hated him. He is boring. He's a guy who would be aided. He would be aided greatly by having gotten into wrestling 20 years earlier in 1989, where it would have been like, okay, you're kind of boring. We'll go to WCW now. Okay, in WCW, you can now tour with All Japan. And okay, well, they didn't want you in WCW, so now you're going to do a tour in New Japan. Like, it would have been like nice to see him. How nice would it have been to see like Sheamus on the Indies wrestling some of these super small guys where he could throw them into the bathroom and then they die. Like Sheamus versus Darby Allin, where Darby Allin will be like, okay, how about this? I could skateboard, you can shove it up my butt, and that is not a thing that I'm saying literally, you got to fit this thing up my butt.
Yeah. Is it possible you can just fit this up my butt?
Easily.
And if it was AEW, they'd be like, can we sell a pay-per-view for that first? And he was like, that'd be pretty cool.
Okay, Sheamus, you're coming in with 15 managers, and they're all some guy from mid-card WCW. Sheamus, your manager is Paul Roma. AEW.
AEW. How long is it? How long is it until AEW brings in Paul Roma? Is Paul Roma dead?
No. I'm just going to guess that he's not dead. You guess if Paul Roma's dead. I'm going to say this. My favorite thing about Sheamus, I think he's a very good wrestler, and I think the worst thing is he's just not a charismatic man. He clearly
worst thing about Sheamus is he's an incredibly normal, boring man, which makes him very unfun on a podcast. Best thing about Sheamus, a very boring, normal man that makes him very unfun on a podcast.
Exactly. Here's the best thing about Sheamus. We'll never be like, well, there's another reason why we shouldn't watch wrestling. But this is the thing where it's like, good wrestling is, I was thinking about this. It's like really good wrestling and effective wrestling is kind of like New Jack versus Jerry Lynn, because you have one guy who's absolutely fucking insane, and then you have another guy who's super normal and competent, and then you mish those together, and now you have a great match. Animal, normal, competent man, Hawk, cocaine addict who loves steroids. Mesh them together, great tag team. Sheamus needed a fucking psychopath who's super charismatic, to go with him, very competent, good wrestler. And instead he got Cesaro, where it's like, hey, Sheamus, do you want to see the Swiss version of yourself? There you go. This guy doesn't speak quite as clearly as you, but he does make up for it by being more athletic. Enjoy.
Yeah, this guy is slightly more just fun to talk to than you are, so we're going to have him stand near you so we can talk to him. Is that cool?
Yeah. And
I don't know.
Right down to the fact his name is Sheamus, which is like, if there's an Irish version of the WWE, it's like, what's his character's name? He's Chris.
Yeah, but it's like, it's so weird that they did that. I don't know. It's just all very fucking strange.
He's the most normal wrestler. Like the fact that, like, instead of having an actual character change, they're like, he's got a mohawk now. And what else? No, nothing else.
Yeah. Well, he's got a bunch of jewelry that's sewn into his beard.
Yeah.
Do people make fun of him for that? I mean, we just assume that he hates himself, so we don't bother.
Sheamus is going through a high school phase.
Yeah, we just assume that he just yells, "I'm so emo," in his mirror.
I just want you to know I have feelings too, Sheamus.
Yeah, but Sheamus's feelings could best be described as like a tax audit. Audit.
There you go. Audit. Yes, there you go. There you go. Good job, John. All right, that's it for Sheamus. Fuck you guys. Fuck you.
Hey,
John.
everybody. This episode was fun at the beginning, and then I remembered who we were doing, and I hate it, and I hate you. Dylan Gott. I want you to know something, Dylan. I want you to die. Dylan, I want you to die.
You want me to die?
Yeah. I don't want you to
die, John. I want you to be happy.
Not me. I'm only happy when you're dead.
You're happy when I'm dead.
Only happy when Dylan's dead.
So we're gonna do Mad Dog Vachon for the Patreon.
I just pranked you. I pranked you.
Oh, really? You pranked? Okay, cool. That was a good prank. We're gonna do Mad Dog Vachon for the Patreon feed. Why don't we just do it for
Dylan? I don't want you to die. All right. Next week, Mad Dog Vachon. Everyone strap in. Now the opposite of Sheamus.
It really is the opposite.
Is this man a competent wrestler? No, he is a drunk man, and he is trying to hurt his own kids.
A man who was literally a bowling ball that was addicted to opiates. Mad Dog Vachon.
Yeah. Please, and then what's that? That man's too drunk to play cards? Well, you shouldn't have sat him near the door to that airplane. Welcome to the AWA.
He's going to talk to everybody.
Yeah. Oh, how does this guy feel about his son? For some reason, obsessed with people breaking his leg.
Don't worry, it's my daughter Luna. You can.
It's not his daughter; it's his niece, which he very much, and he always points out how pretty he thinks Luna is. Which
very pretty is my brother's daughter.
I don't think
she's got
he
a
is.
Nice pisser on her, and I like that.
I'm just saying that right now. I'm saying that he wanted to fuck his niece Luna Vachon. Did Mad Dog Vachon?
I think that is a good place to end. I'm going to do all of our plugs now. Thank you very much for listening to the rest of
What? Go ahead. Do the plugs, Dylan. I'll sit here quietly.
Twitch.tv/John Hastings Comedy.
Mm-hmm.
If you want, what time of day do you stream, John?
2 to 5. 2 to 4. 2 to 4 or 2 to 5 every day Pacific time.
Pacific time? So look that up at Wrestler Review on Instagram and Twitter, patreon.com/Wrestler Review for extra episodes. We'll be doing a watch along for Patreon. We're recording that tomorrow.
Will we?
Yes. I don't know what we're watching along, but it'll be something that we can watch without the people contacting us and asking us to take it down.
Yeah.
redbubble.com/people/Wrestler Review, because we are a people, and that's if you want merchandise such as t-shirts, hoodies, or shower curtains. And there's a clock.
There's a clock. The clock. I was not in on the what merchandise are we having being made meeting, and I'm going to say this right now. Dylan nailed it.
Yeah, I just wanted to just have clocks, but I figured we should have some shirts.
I wanted just shower curtains, and Dylan said, that's a really stupid idea. And I went, go on. And then he was like, think about it. And I didn't. And he just did whatever he wanted to anyway. And it was the right call.
I just wanted Wrestler Review Kleenex, so you nut. Right on our
logo. Oh my God. Why don't we have Wrestler Review Jizz Rags? Why don't we have Wrestler Review Jizz Rags?
towels, specifically
No.
very absorbent.
Yeah, like towels, but they have a little bit of netting that goes into a more toweled thick thing. So you can just pop the towel on your cockhead, jizz in the towel.
Well, because for this is also girls listen to this, so
They can give it to a boy and
for
be
the
like, here,
bucket
you
for their squirt.
yeah, use it. No.
It's not just the guys that have loads listen to this thing. I'll tell you that.
We just sell we sell a buckets for your lady ejaculate. Hey, ladies, do you need a bucket for your ejaculate? I do. Well, you look no further.
Bucket has 4 T's. 4 is just the letter is just the number 4, and then squirt is of course just squirt. Because how else the fuck else would you squirt? You really had to listen to this whole episode to get to the grossest part, and that's a little Easter egg for everybody. Thanks very much for listening, guys. We love you all.
Is anyone else just now hearing the unrepeatable and undeniable noise of thick liquid hitting a metal bucket? Because all I can hear is just ooh,
I imagine it's like a big chamber pot.
yeah, no, but I like it. Literally, this is what I'm imagining the bucket noise is going to sound like. When I make a girl squirt, she squirts is huge. See you next week, everybody. We are the rest of you kids. We are the rest of you kids.
John just had a fork in his hand this whole time. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Bye bye.
It was on the table.